We'll start in a minute. I'll just like doing some waiting. And I really wish I could use my Mac because it's running Kimi so fast. But I'm stuck with Linux. I'm stuck with Linux and I'm stuck with 4 terabytes full. What the fuck? But tonight, well, I don't know how long we'll do because I had like a pretty heavy week so far already. Um, but I'll continue refactoring. I'm so addicted to refactoring my code now. Now that like GPT-5 does such a good job, I'm just going over all my old repos, especially my human written code, because that's actually the hardest to refactor, because it's so oddly shaped at times. Where I was trying to be like, I don't know, trying to be clever with my APIs, or like trying to factor things a little bit too much. Um, it's interesting looking back at software I wrote over time and seeing like the design sense kind of be there from the beginning, but also not. Like it's really hard to be like, what did I learn about software architecture over like 30 years? All right, I've got 200 gigabytes in the downloads. I guess we're going to start killing that. What's that? Drawing vector graphics, course, watercolor courses. Goodbye. I'm a person who hates art now. Like I never want to see art again. All I want to see is like AI stuff. That's how bad it's gotten. It's like handmade, not handmade code. Um, Anything by humans, just over. Just gonna watch pixels. All right, where we're at. Where are we at? I like this banner, so I want to have it stay up as long as possible. Is it actually like it looks so red on my? It's so weird. Like I don't know what it is because this is like neon yellow on my. It's like neon yellow on my Mac on my Linux. Uh, I think it's actually the capture card or something like that. Who knows? Who fuck knows? Maybe it's like my. I have this thing called like Redshift. Maybe it's that. Is it is it running? Is it like a see for all the learning I could do with LLMs, I don't I still don't know how fucking system control works. It's not a service. Will that do it? No. However, fuck. Now my Linux is all fucking blue. Oh my god, I hate it. I think if I restart, I don't know where it started from. All right, well, we'll run it by hand and then unknown location 4235. How are you supposed to run my redshift? I shouldn't have killed it. I'm an idiot. Why does this work? Oh, it's like a single word. That is so odd. All right, thank God. All right, what we're gonna do tonight? Continue refactoring my terminal UI. So we are in cursor, but I kind of wanna play more with OpenCode today. So I really want to like crush, and then it's just unusable, man. I tried, and then it is less usable than when it was an alpha for me. I mean, maybe I just like got caught it at the wrong time, but it was not a fun experience tonight. All right, so we're gonna start open code. Gonna choose Kimi. I don't know. Should I choose Quen? Should I choose Kimi? Should I restart? There's a ton of stuff we can do with open code, really. So we're going to be looking at, so this has GPT-5, which, I mean, I'm not having high hopes for refactoring things with Kimi K2, right? Like it's more about exploring what I might want to be using. For example, I want to remove the need for message, right? For message content. So I'm going to say I want to remove all traces of message.go, which is in Geppetto, and the conversation abstraction in general, especially in Boba and Pinocchio UI. I can't like link directories here. I guess I can. Search for all the location this struct abstraction is used and write it up in Geppetto ttem. So this is more going to be like an exploration of how far I can push this thing. Uses of the conversation struct API in Boba T and Pinocchio and Geppetto.md. More about seeing how the costs go up, what it is able to find, like how deep its reasoning is in quotes. Or maybe I should just go straight to the chase and like kind of get this stuff going. I'm going to use the exact same prompt actually. Can you copy paste? Yeah, nice. And open code is nice. Can't say anything other than that. So I'm going to store it in -2 GPT-5 low. Actually, we're going to try the different GPTs. A socket closed. Okay. Was that the clipboard? No. The clipboard on Linux X11 is you have to keep a socket open, I think. Like you have to stay in the background until your clipboard is read. Which is kind of wild. All right, so what is this guy doing? It's searching. It's searching conversation struct usage. Let me search more specifically for the conversation package. That's pretty good. That's pretty nice. So it's grabbing, it's grabbing, it's grabbing. I wonder what this task general, is that a sub agent? So it's reading all these files, which means it's probably filling its context window quite a bit, right? We're at 30%, and I expect it to start degrading at around 50. In the meantime here, GPT-5 Low is using these like search tools that Cursor offers. Where's the conversation abstraction used, including types? How does Boba T reference conversational message model? This is quite interesting. Like, I wonder, a lot of people argue and say like, just let the model figure it out. I think that's just lazy. Like, you can engineer things. You don't have to delegate everything to the model either. Where does Pinocchio UI use conversation model and messages? I wonder what this does in the back end. Like, how does it find these things, right? It's like, does it grab and then get the next function? What is this block about? Oh, look at that. Build initial turn is unused. Goodbye. Is this used? Yeah, I guess it is. All right, so what did Kimi bring out? So it's a fairly terse document, we can see. I like these little emojis. Like, this is fairly scannable, right? Like, I wish that they would render bold, because I found these like 2 stars always kind of annoying to read. But then how are you going to bold on the terminal? I guess you do have just like maybe like a, there's a bold escape code, right? Is there? There a bold escape type? Bold type is this. So one of the things I want to kind of have tonight is, yeah, this is bold text. No, it's not bolded in this font or terminal. Does this work in Xterm? The bold thing? Xterm? Yeah, it kind of works, right? Like, this is a little bit bolder than this. Whatever. So the UI you just saw, that's the thing I'm refactoring, by the way. All right, so chat model is used for generating unique message IDs, so that we can replace, right? And then fake backend, used for fake event metadata, only used for demo testing purposes. All right, so we want to move, I'm going to make a little list here of the things we might want to do, besides going to the bathroom, which I will have to do in a sec. One of the big next projects is going to be, I thought they would store that in, did I say 13? No, I said 14, right? Oh, this is different. This didn't even write a file. A little. Do you want me to create or save the report? Save the report. See, it's funny because it saved, like it said, look at that. Oh, there's no directory. Like, oh my God, this is GPT-5 is being really like a little anal. So anyway, we do have Geppetto. We're going to create a new folder, 2025 08 14. What's this guy doing? Oh my God. What is going on? Oh, is it queued? Okay. All right, so we're going to make a little list of to do. So we're going to move the, actually, checkboxes are not bad. Move the LLM message data out of conversation. So I think that's like a big one. And this actually we're going to do by hand. Everything moving code, not only is it slow and like why would I pay money to move code, but also it's where LLMs introduce a lot of bugs potentially. So, oh, we're already in the right package, right? So, um, also Golang has LLM message data, and there's a symbol. It's in here. Right now it disappeared. All right, so LLM message data is here, and we want to move usage. Yeah, that's it, right? Where do we want to move that? We have conversation message, and then we have steps also is like something that we could move. Want to move it into turns maybe, or maybe events, LLM metadata. And this is still kind of like a manually created mess, all of this. Like there's so much stuff that I wrote by hand, and now I look at it, I'm just like, this is not consistently organized. It's very weird. Inference, okay, we want to put it into inference. Huh. That's another thing to look at. Consolidate tool blocks, tool helpers. So that's definitely LLM slop. That these two have the same struct. Then we have our middleware stuff. We might want to move stuff out of here later on as well. I wonder if these middlewares that we built on Sunday should go into this package or if they should go somewhere else. I think this is probably the right package. All right, I'm going to move this into a file metadata here in Inference Engine. I think that's a good location. I mean, should I ask the LLM? Who knows? All right, so we want usage and LLM message metadata. And I think none of this otherwise makes much sense. And then we want to move it to Inference Engine and then into a file called metadata. So that's going to be, yeah, this is going to be refactored across like 3-4 repositories, which is fine. Why is this conflicting? Cyclic, oh, fuck, cyclic imports. Fucking hate this. Okay, so I guess we're going to move you to events then. Where is events? There we go. Why does it reference conversation? Events and file chat events references conversation. Okay, so that's the thing to get rid of, right? Conversation node ID. So node ID, we're going to rename this to I mean, it's just a UUID, isn't it? I'm just going to call it UUID at this point. I don't think it makes sense to have an alias. All right, so where's node ID used everywhere? Is this something that... Conversation to node ID. What would be the... So it's UUID, UUID. You know what the easiest way to do this is to just make it private and then just fix where stuff breaks. All right, cool. Oh, this is maybe something to do in cursor. Node ID, and then we're just gonna go to node ID. What is the error here? Multiple value. Oh, interesting. What is new node ID doing? It like returns UUID new. And oh, there's a multiple UUID packages, huh? It's Google UUID. UUID, new UUID. All right. I thought. Oh, it's new. And then new UUID returns an error. Like, what is that? Of array type UUID. Okay. Wait, so model update cache. Where are we? This can go, right? I'm just gonna delete this. It's like, and this can go too. I think so. Fake. Oh, it had stream metadata. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted this so fast. Okay. What did I do? I broke everything. Let's go into boba tea and restore this guy. Yeah, this is all like the fact that like I've wrapped UUID, node ID, all of that. That's like overdone cleverness. Like it's biting me now because I'm having all these issues. Cannot use UUID new value of array. Oh, it's an array of bytes. Versus so the conversation stream metadata, which is in chat conversation model. We're going to move that out of the way since it is being used. So this is chat conversation model.go, right? And then we said stream metadata. And I'm going to move this to PKG chat metadata. Stream metadata, stream start message, stream. And we're going to move that to boba tea, PKG, chat, and then into metadata. How much you want to bet that there's going to be a cyclical import? Aha, I knew it. Conversation and file model.go. And this is used for style. Okay, so we're going to move style over as well. Now we're going to move the whole file. There we go. Move it over here. And anything relevant in here? Doesn't look like it, but I'm going to keep it for now. See, no more cyclical import. I don't like having readmes anyway, and so now we're just going to delete all of that. Okay, where does that leave us in the fake backend? It leaves us in package. Oh no, this is a deleted file. Okay, so where does that leave us? In here. This is UUID, UUID, and there we go. Why are you still complaining? Okay. Then pkg chat conversation model.go. I thought we just deleted that. That's some kind of like clever file writing. That's a problem with having like 3 editors on the same file. This is all like where is this shit used? Holy crap. Holy crap, this is tragic. Okay, so this is the cyclical import still. Where is it? Geppetto. And chat events. Where is it using the conversation? Okay, so that's the node IDs. Good. Chat events. Gonna delete that, and now we're gonna make this a UUID and import Google, which fixes the cyclical import. That already gives us a lot of leeway. And then we're just gonna have to clean this stuff up, which is the serialization, right? Where's the blocks from conversion conversation delta used? My God. Now this is gnarlier than I thought. Why do we have conversations everywhere? Where are we gonna start from? Because we get the conversation here from the manager. The manager is used to build the system prompt, and this is a pattern we need to remove, right? And fuck it, I'm using GPT-5. I'm done with this. I just want to get the refactoring done. It's been like 3 days. Remove the conversation manager, etc., and use pure blocks and turns. See, is it 0.08 turns in simple streaming inference? What? Simple streaming inference .main.go. There we go. Because this manager builder is just used to create the system prompt. Maybe we can have a similar builder pattern to build the initial turn. See also cmd.go and Pinocchio, which builds the initial prompt. I think that's enough. And so there was this interesting thing here in like open code. All right, so we're going to save that file, and we're going to switch to GPT-5 in here as well. So we're at 42% context window, and we're at 10 cents. Was it able to find the stuff that we were struggling with? Oh yes, it's because we started from here because it had found a new node ID, right? So this is at least decently useful. Converts conversations to turns, right? Blocks from conversation delta is the stuff that we're trying to clean up here. Creates conversation from messages. I'm going to ask it, how would you remove the dependencies on conversation manager in simple chat streaming? No, simple streaming inference, right? Main.go. Just going to chat with this thing a little bit. And I guess we could pass to plan mode, right? No, just tell me how you would do it. We're at 12 cents into this. I don't know what the caching on. Yeah, okay. Uh, Small model move. Uh, can I go back in time? All right, I'm not going to deal with like open source small model stuff today. I will, however, deal with open source big model stuff, and then see what this guy tells me in open code, and especially how much it's gonna run a cost. Here's the minimal. This was fast actually. Also, here's the minimal turns first refactor plan that file without touching code yet. Remove conversation imports. Replace manager with direct C turn instead of building a conversation manager and calling it be built. Create a C turn. How did it know that it was about C turns? How does it know that that exists? Did it read some files? Maybe it says seed here somewhere. Um, I'm gonna tell it like, look, basically this prompt here. Look at 08 turns and cmd.go in Geppetto, no Pinocchio. Um, so create a C turn. If you want a system prompt, append turns new system block. If you have a prompt, append turns new user text block. Keep the event router in sync as is. And this is great. Drop conversion back to conversation and manager mutations. Remove manager blah blah. You don't need a conversation at all. But replace it with what? Oh, because the turns it get back, it converted it to conversation and it converted it back. Okay. All right, go ahead. So this cost us like 18 cents, this two inferences. And this is fast. Oh, it's still in plan mode. All right, go ahead. Yes. Oh, and now that I went back to, holy crap. It went back to Kimi. That's weird. Implement. I hope the UI will like catch itself. I think it killed itself here, huh? JavaScript. Um, all right, yeah, you need to do everything by yourself these days. All right, let's do it in here because I just want to get this refactor over. This thing is much slower, huh? Or is it just hiding stuff from me? Because this was blazing in open code. So this guy caught the builder pattern though, because I saw in open code it didn't do the builder pattern. Maybe because there was already like half a plan from before, which didn't have the builder pattern and it didn't update it. I know GPT-5 is pretty literal and might not like react too much to like redirections. I wonder if this is like, I wonder what this tool call was as well. Like I just need open source at the end of the day. But I like that Cursor has moved over to token based stuff. And like it seems that the caching and the tool calls on GPT-5 are pretty efficient, and it's cheaper than 4.0. I really wish I knew like the energy costs of all of this. Um, so it must be reacting to the linting here, because it did its first big refactor, right? So what did it actually add here as well? It added a bunch of code in here, which is the builder pattern, right? And then replace the manager builder with this. Remove the conversation from turn stuff to add them to the manager, because now you can run them directly. And then, so this is something I was thinking about here before, which is that we want to, oh, in this case, we don't even loop, right? So what's odd is that it just needs to remove this, right? I don't understand why it's looping around here. Because I told it to remove conversation, right? That's a weird loop. Because that seems like a pretty evident next step. Found one error, cannot use turn, and then what did it say? I'm looking into the import updates where we remove the builder and add an initial turn builder. Yeah, see, it like over-indexed on the builder thing. So I mean, I'm in experimenting mode now a little bit. I think it over-indexed on this builder instruction that I put in here. Then remove all the references to conversation. We only use turns and blocks. I think it. I've seen that before, where it's like almost passive aggressive, and it's like understanding of what you ask it for. And it's like, you want a builder? Okay, I'll do a builder. Like, you asked me to do a builder, I'm not going to do more. It's just an interesting behavior. It's like it feels not as strong-headed as other things I've seen in the past, but also it has like its own little peculiar. I mean, everything is vibes at the end of the day. My cat is going to annoy me. Come on. All right, I need to go to the bathroom anyway, so I'm going to leave this to refactor while I'm gone, and then hopefully we'll have basically the first refactor done. Then we can create a guide out of that, like a how-to refactor, and then basically apply that to the other files. And then often, if you have the guide open, then usually the tab model will be enough. You can just like tab through instead of using an expensive model to take like 3 minutes to edit one file. So that's a technique I like quite a bit, where you do it once with the big model, write a guide, which is nice because it's always a good reference and allows you to do a good code review later on. And then you open this doc, you open the file, and then you just tab through, and the tab model, having read, being aware of the tutorial on the right. So maybe we can turn this into like helper methods as well. Did it add a builder? Yeah, cool. And this time it didn't call it initial turn builder. So I saw it figuring out that it's in a workspace. Like, that's the kind of stuff I could put into the, what is this, cursor roles? Like, I have it in the agent MD. That's why I didn't load it. Yeah, see, it doesn't know in which directory to run this. And so now it figures it out. Anyway, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So you replace all with UUID UUID. Oh, maybe replace all is not the right word to say. Let me stop this. Replace conversation node ID with UUID. UUID ultimately. Nah, I'm not gonna be very precise in what I say. Why is it missing provider? Is cursor buggy? What is this little dance that happened over here? Yeah, now it's gonna scan them all. It's not what I wanted, but all right, well. Not in a conversation package, just outside. I hope it doesn't over-index on outside as well. Man, you have to be careful with this thing. After all the lazy prompting I got used to with Sonnet, this is definitely, I have to remember this is a different model. All right, cool. Yeah, that's what you should do. All right, I'm gonna go. All right, what did it do? At least it compiles. So we have the main.go. It added the turn builder. It added the helpers, and I'm gonna say move the turn builder and create a helper to print a turn into the turns package. And I'm not doing it in Golang here because I'm lazy, because I know that this part here is going to be a little bit more annoying to extract. But actually, I do want it, knowing that it will move this to a separate package, turn this into something that's probably a little bit more reusable. That's my hope, at least. And so I want to use this like a fairly terse sensibility that GPT-5 has to actually put in place an API that will serve me to like debug blocks. Because I don't want it to be just like a copy pasted switch case of printfs. I want it to be like a more useful version of it, and then also be interested in discovering what this model does when you ask it to extract things like this. Like, it's really nice that it creates two files, for example. And then this is a shitty name. So do I want to leave it as shitty as that? Like, do I want to not over engineer a printer solution right now. I'm going to keep it like that. So this is another thing that I was interested in, but it did add a writer, which is good. I was thinking about that, like, is it going to add a writer to it? And it did, which is good. So that's kind of the refactor that I was lazy about doing. I guess it has a writer here as well, huh? Because it's in a writer command, so it's not that magical. Um, but yeah, so this leaves us with. So at first, these kind of comments irritated me. But now I realize this is actually pretty cool because it leaves a git blame trace of what has been going on in this file. And then maybe on the second git commit or something, like on the second pull request, you can start removing them. So we now have a turn builder that is nice. Then it removes the conversation, the conversion to this, and then we're going to do that. And so I'm going to say now, write a guide on how to refactor code that uses the alt conversation API to use only turns in TTAM 0, in Geppetto TTAM 012 14, how to refactor code that uses the deprecated conversation API.md. And now we capture this guide, and then I think we can then do the refactors for most of this with the tab model, which of course makes us pay a little bit more attention of where things are, just like gives some spatial awareness of the code base. But I could also see it getting a little bit too gnarly, because this conversation abstraction was like a whole conversation tree with a lot of helper methods. And if it starts getting too gnarly, and I'm starting to like break things, right? Then I might switch, and this is maybe a good moment to commit as well. So it was how many repos did this touch, right? Because this wasn't Pinocchio. And so the good thing about these markdown files, right? Like, one of the big criticisms of AI-driven coding is you don't really know what you're doing. I mean, I have a pretty nice documentation for everything that has been happening to the code base, and the visibility I have into things that were happening is actually pretty huge, because I do have to generate, if not like review, the plans that the LLM is then going to execute. Like everything is like really spec driven, right? And I think that's one of the huge wins. And we've been talking to get today at work to turn this into a more structured workflow, right? Because like I work now, we're like 4 pretty intense LLM users, and we have so many of these intermediate specs and documentation. Like, we have like 400,000 lines of markdown describing like everything that happened to the code base. Like, it's way more than the code itself. And there's really useful stuff in there, right? Like, sometimes you'll go back, you'll be like, what is this? This is weird in the code. Oh, it's like from 8 months ago. And then you find a document that led to this, which has like why these, like, it's basically having an RFC for each line of code, right? Which is a very new world, I think, to be able to deal with this level of insight into why things happened. Because to have good LLM plans, you want to very clearly state your intent, right? And then you want to have something that's like very clearly detailed, even if it's just an intermediate. Like, having a detailed spec doesn't mean that your prompting has to be detailed. It just means that you have a high quality detailed intermediate artifact. Anyway, where am I going with this? I want to refactor this stuff. So let's add ttemp, let's add pkg, and then does this build here? Oh, a simple streaming inference is also in here. Okay. So art tractor update simple streaming Oh yeah, so that's what it's called. Simple streaming inference to use turns and not conversation. If this is not going to compile, it's not going to lint. That's fine. All right, so now we have a tutorial on how to do this, right? And let us look at this. Man, Code Rabbit is annoying. Let us look at this tutorial. Yeah, it's funny. Conversation is actually a tree, and then at some point I was like, the tree doesn't help at all, and I replaced it with an array of messages, and the tree is still there. So it's already like this weird kind of a very human kind of thing, right? Where it's like I have over-engineered a solution that I think I would need, which is like an immutable tree of conversations or whatever. Then I realized it didn't work, but I couldn't just like remove everything at once because it was so much work compared to what I wanted to do. So I had this like intermediate bridge and it never got cleaned up. And now this stuff is like all merged everywhere. Like you don't need a node ID for a message when you only have an array. So, oh, it's nice. It gives me like an overview of the API to use, which is always nice. It doesn't have the package names in here. I wonder if the package names are also in like 08 turns. I think I added, yeah, it has that. So at least it has that. Because package names are really important. If it doesn't know which package names it needs to use, it has to search for them. It might use the wrong one. It might have like clashes because my package names are called like, I don't know. Now it has a turn builder, odd, old, and then new turn builder. And I think we'll probably have to, yeah, this is nice. Like it has a mapping of how to convert the conversation. This is a great thing for the pull request. It's also like just, I mean, this is probably not something I'll reference in the future because conversation will be gone. But this is a really, man, this is nice. Like, what is this? Where is this structure coming from? Because it has like no like, oh, performance metrics and blah 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 and future steps. It has just like I'm I am I am so glad about GPT-5 because it really like fills this gap of being able to do long-term code base work. And with Sonnet, it was like always, how do I avoid Sonnet messing up my long-term code base? Here, it's really like, how can I use it to make everything better? Which I really, really like. All right, well, I guess we have, well, GPT has its work cut out for it. Let's see if I'm able to do tab refactoring now that it's here. So if I leave this file open, right, which is like wildly visited by now, and then I go to simple streaming inference main in here, then I have simple inference, which probably is broken. Yeah, so actually does, let's try open code. We have a plan and we want to refactor. So let's try that. We have one GPT-5 done, one refactor and created a plan out of it. Can we now save on costs and switch to open code and then say, maybe we should just go straight into Geppetto and go open code, refactor, simple inference, main.go, based on 03 how to refactor code that uses the deprecated. And we're gonna, oh shit, I forgot that I want to use Kimi. And I can't, of course, change this. And I can't copy paste either. Man, this is... All right, well, models, and we're gonna switch to Kimi. I don't know, should I try Qwen 3? I don't know. There's Kimi Dev. What's Kimi Dev? Yeah, I'm gonna stay with Should I do Qwen3 coder? I don't know either of those. So if someone's in the chat has a preference, we're gonna try Qwen3. So refactor simple inference main.go according to 03 how to refactor code that uses deprecation. All right, let's go. All right, except it immediately gets the lint, which is an interesting thing. Because I hope I could see it over-indexing on lints that are part of the refactor. We'll see what it does here. Actually, this is a good test. Because not every edit should compile. Yeah, see, this is kind of what I meant. It's like kind of over-indexing on it. And then it does the work at once. And it just basically deleted the code, right? Yeah, this is not good. See, it like over-indexed on the linting. I'm not a fan of this linting. So that was a short-lived experiment. Fuck it. I wanna get this refactoring over. Like, too bad. We're gonna this is too complex for tab completion for sure because they won't know how to refactor this. However, we're gonna switch to GPT-5 low maybe. Maybe we can start a new conversation as well. So we're gonna switch to low and not max, and then we're gonna say, oh wait, why did it? We're gonna say refactor main.go according to 03. There we go. I think that's in reach of. I don't know what low is. How low is low, but we'll see. Yeah, you want to do the refactor in its entirety and only then run the linting, right? And I think like OpenCode with its immediate linting is actually harming refactoring, because in refactoring you want to break stuff until it works, right? So this guy got the new builder pattern, and then print the last turn, which is fine because it is really like the same as the previous file. So it's exactly as in the tutorial, right? And it did the lint check, so that's cool. So this is in the middleware. I've never linted this since I did that. That's interesting. How many of these things still use the conversation part? I know we did a list here, uses of the abstraction here. So this is boba tea. Okay, so now we're gonna commit. That's the first one. Command. Oops. We're not gonna lint. We're gonna say refactor simple inference to not use conversation. And I wonder if I should ask low to do the cleanup in the steps. I think I will do that. Clean up the steps in AI OpenAI. What is this? PKG steps AI OpenAI. Yeah, and Claude to not use conversation. update the refactoring how to once done with the things you learned. Because I'm sure it will find like refactoring patterns that are new because it's a different, right? It's not just like a hello world kind of thing. Um, and we'll probably need to iterate and think a little bit about it. So I might want to keep a trace and keep track of the new patterns that are there because I might apply those to other parts of the code after that. And, then of course, saving tokens, saving energy, um, and saving speed also. And things are going to be more consistent, reliable. So this update the refactor document as you go, I find that really pretty nice. And then using git commit after each step as well allows you to see how this document grows. And I think that might also be interesting in a thinking longer term of managing documentation. And I actually had Manus build me something which looked a little bit sketch the first time I looked at it. So it was managing markdown files with metadata using, yeah, so I had to do a second version because the first one was like completely useless. So if we go into vibes, should I make a work tree? Yes, of course. We're going to say vibes and then we're going to say, um, no, this is like MD meta file management. And we're going to go in here. Going to go in vibes. Going to make a directory for today. We're going to check out this download. All right. It's a lot of code. I don't trust this stuff. What is ULID? Oh, it did compile? That's crazy. Yeah, it doesn't do very much, does it? List validate parser. Is that all it can do? Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed here. Very disappointed. I'm actually so disappointed that I might ask to do it again from the start. I wonder where it went wrong. See, install glaze using go install and use glaze help build first command. And maybe I should just like skip this entirely. No, because this is to build a set of dual commands to analyze, to manage, to work with these documents. Use a subset of the YAML properties. No need to be the coolest ones. Make a zip at the end. Run it on a set of example files. Take screenshots. Make sure the output is correct. And then I'm going to try again because I feel that this is one of those problems where the slot machine here can do a pretty good job. And I don't want to get too involved because I already refactored so much stuff at work this week. I did like a couple of really well deserved, but also like taxing work. And then of course this year, I don't want to add like a new project to the list right now. Removed conversation import and replaced role usages with string literals. Keeps building Claude messages. All right, the string literals comment has me a little bit weirded out. Oh, because it has a conversation roles. All right, yeah. So create string constants in the Claude package. So what is in the messages.go in here? It's in the API, right? So I removed the conversation here. And I removed toMessage, which was deprecated anyway. And in package, OpenAI already confirmed it builds request, no conversation usage, updated reference files. Okay, so we're just going to create string constants in here. And then what were the other things to look at, right? They were in this file over here, uses of the conversation API. So we went through steps, which is also a badly deprecated package name at this point. And does this still build? Seems to build. Interesting. Yeah, this is what I like about GPT-5, right? It's like +7 -8, +1 -14, -1, 7 plus -1. It's not like Sonnet being like +800. You're like, It's just like very on track. It really makes me want to go over every package that I have and be like, can we start just like doing this pretty effective cleanup? Cannot be easily removed. It's a chat runner. Yeah, the Pinocchio package is going to be interesting. Then we still have the turns conf conversation, which we can remove. Maybe remove it after its usage points have been refactored instead of breaking them all. You can mark them as deprecated. So mark the conversation methods in conversation as deprecated, so they get surfaced in lints. I wonder if it's stuck here. I would say it seems to be stuck because it shouldn't need more than this, right? I should keep an eye on the context window. I guess it's still very low. All right, so it added deprecation warnings over here, which is good because those will surface in the lint. And then we're going to add the new constants, and then we're still going to turn off the linting. We're going to say broom, clean up AI, clean up more usages of conversation, and mark turn conversion methods as deprecated. Where 30% these build conversation from turn are used in quite a few places, right? So this is, maybe we should start with the leaves of it all. So this is the chat simple agent, um, which is actually fairly big at this point. But we're going to start with this one. Continue removing dependencies on conversation from simple chat agent md chat.go. Yeah, I realized this has become quite more complex than I thought already, but this is like the UI I've been working on just to test tool calls and then to debug tool calling, and then the REPL started being too limited for what I wanted, right? And I started cleaning up my whole UI framework, which is where we're at now, because it was entirely built around the concept of a conversation. And one of the big refactors, the core abstraction basically has been to change from a conversation to a sequence of turns, and each turn has um, like a sequence of blocks that are going to be sent to the LLM, which maybe is still like too. I don't know if it's like if I should abstract even more or not, but that's where we're at right now. We have turns. Each turn has a conversation, and that's because at each interacting with the chatbot, I might actually be doing a totally different inference in the background. So this is the thing I like about GPT-5 is that it will basically think and then it will do the exact thing that was demanded without adding new files, without adding new abstractions. It just like is pretty much on point. And yeah, here indeed it just like removed the conversion. So now we're going to continue. We're going to move to a very interesting part. It's the Pinocchio core command, which is basically you have a YAML file describing a prompt or a conversation, and then it exposes a command line verb for this prompt template, and that's run by this command, cmd.go. So it's like the declarative interpreter. It's the interpreter for a declarative prompt, basically. And that one's going to get this format, this YAML is now going to get really interesting now that I finally have support for tool calling. Yeah, it's plodding along. What's this guy doing here? So it's doing the list command. It read the tutorial, so it's writing its first command here, and it's writing search. And so maybe I could tell it like use separate files for each command. That's something I should put in here as a memory. When building glazed commands after use separate files for each command when building CLI verbs. All right. Because that's something like having huge files is never that effective. Excuse me. This is the document metadata. That looks good. That's like a decent subset. Um, oh, it's rewriting it. And so the idea here is that you can say like, look, I'm doing this task, or I'm editing this file, or like this line change. Give me all the markdown RFCs and stuff that were relevant for this change. And I have this other program already which has like tree sitter, right? And it's like links tree sitter to GitHub pull requests, or just like to Git diffs basically, and allows you to say like how did this function change over time, and it will like use tree sitter to find this function, or use tree sitter to look at the lines in the Git diff and then infer which methods it's in, or whatever tree sitter object you want to do. Uh, are these like failing? Right? That's so odd that it like fails every second one. That's not good. It's rewriting list. Oh, because I asked it to do a separate file. All right. Anyway, um, see, this is what I really like here is that it's doing this like very methodical um, plowing through. I wonder why it changed the order of things here. Uh, Maybe because it doesn't need uh, to instantiate the run. Oh, because now if I change the command, it has to do all this like chat runner stuff as well. So this is actually a pretty big ask, um, and so yeah, it still has conversation in here, and it still has conversation in here. So that's interesting. Still has message, run context conversation. Remove conversation usage from chat go to align with turns. Adjusted context to go to remove compatibility. Okay, so no backwards compatibility. Start with context go, which is in commands run, and chat runner, right? I should have said no backwards compatibility. But yeah, this is cool. If this is low, um, this is definitely also. I was worried about load that it would start like write too much code, but it rather seems to be like more shy than the bigger model. It's like it also stays very much on its toes, and then it seemed to stop early, right? Because the eagerness of Anthropic's models, that was just like it was really aggravating me because I couldn't find a way to more effectively build like maintainable long-term software um, while minimizing the cognitive load on me, right? It's like figuring out how to move from one API to the other. It's like a lot of design work up front, right? It's like this turn abstraction. That's like really the key of what I contribute as a human is like doing this really, I mean, strategic or whatever creative, I don't know what you want to call it. But after that, transforming some of these transformations require a lot of attention to detail, right? Because it can have performance implications, it can have like security implications or whatever. But a lot of them also are just tedious and complex, is what I call it. It's not like tedious and you can relax and just be like tap, 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 or when you were writing by hand. It's just like they're tedious and they're it's clear how the mapping has to be done, but then you encounter all the like little edges of the previous API um, that you had forgotten about, that were like over-engineered, that got like messed up in over time, or that just too much code is being built on. The good thing with LLMs, at least, is that to build a lot of code that stays and just doesn't break immediately, the API usually is pretty simple and thus easier to massage as things that are intricate and complex because they've been written for efficient human programming. So this is a little bit gnarly to review, but also right, like there's not. I like these kind of diffs where it's just like green and red, and then there's not like little marbled pieces of green and red in between. It's just like here I can look. Oh, the API changed here. Did it? Yeah, the result changed. So I'm good with that. I actually it doesn't show the marbled stuff anymore. Can I change the diff view? I guess not. So actually, that's actually a little bit annoying. I take back what I said. This is I have to be careful actually because I don't see the more marbled stuff. Is there no way to change the diff view? Huh. In here? So not really, right? Because I would like to see. No, actually, there's no change here. Um, I want to see these guys here. I want to see like the, yeah, this is what I want to see. How can I have this diff over there? And what I'm looking for is these like highlighted parts here. The more I see like highlighted parts inside lines, the more my ears perk up. Um, so I'm actually annoyed that I don't see it here. All right, well, I guess we'll look at this guy. Um, I'm also annoyed that I see the white space changes. Like, why did this change, for example? Yeah, the diff view, it used to be, this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking for, right? Where like this little part is highlighted. And then here, I'm not sure what changed here. Like, why is this supposed to be a diff? Is it just because it's a block and they try to group blocks? Because here, again, it's hard for me to see, like, what changed between these two. And it doesn't look like anything changed. Yeah, so this is annoying that they, yet again, broke something that used to work. So be it. People vibe coding right and left. Left and right. So they're removing the messages. That's good. Run engine and collect. And collect what? And then they say the result turn. Okay. The result conversation has been resolved into result turn. It's annoying that these diffs actually are not diffs, right? Like this is also unchanged. Oh, that's right. The stream flag also has to go. Like this is also like a leftover from so long ago. It's gonna regret. Well, why is this highlighted? Who knows? Okay. Well, that's compact. Okay. They really removed a lot here. I want, this is weird. This is puzzling. Like it could be right. I'm tempted to say like, oh yeah, I was able to see something that I don't see. But it's moving it removed the step printer, right? This is not giving me good vibes. I think here it like definitely removed too much. Yeah. Yeah. So it removed too much in the chat runner. Right, that's chat runner, isn't it? Oh, it's command. So we're gonna switch to the bigger one, huh? GPT-5, and we're also, where are we in our context window? How far was that down there? Are we approaching the 50%? Yeah. We're gonna switch here, and then we're gonna switch to the max mode, just so that I have a little bit of room. I didn't like this. That was too much removal, too much subtle stuff, like jumped over. Bad request. Come on, man. All right, so this is, I've never done that with GPT-5 Medium, which is the one we switched to now. But indeed, I had to do it a couple of times with low, where I was just like, I don't have a good feeling about this change. What is our buddy doing over here? Oh, so this is seemingly going further than before. But it's using Cobra. So they did decide to not use glazed. And there's something that changed here. Was able to use the Cobra framework, to use my framework, and now it's like just not. So I should have maybe just, we'll give it like a third try. It's weird. It used to be really good at that stuff, and now it's not. Um, so I don't know what they changed in there. If it's just like me being an idiot, or if they changed stuff. And like, why is it writing such a huge example? All right. Anyway, um, so what does this do changing this time? So it's removing conversation, replacing with turns. That's good that it did that before as well. It's reading the chat runner. Yeah, there's like changed, unchanged. I think it's like the diff format that the model outputs, and then maybe it was already context window degradation. I don't know, but maybe it was also just um, too much pattern matching required, too much subtle matching required. It's writing documentation. Well, the cool thing is that I'll have documents and I'll just upload them after that. Um, that's maybe like the best thing to give it. I wonder why it like fails on this kind of stuff, because it like it's the same kind of stuff that it used to fail on earlier. Um, and it uses like the wrong package names and stuff, but those are all um, well, no, that's just like a tidy, but uh, see, this is the stuff that it just like struggles with, and yet they are in the tutorial so clearly. So the tutorial must be like dropping out of its memory, and earlier it might have been doing well in the memory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the document as an attachment and just say like, keep that on disk and refer to it. So holy crap, 300 lines, like removed 20 lines. And so there's a lot of just like white space nonsense here, right? That's so tiring. So let's go look at, so this was in Pinocchio, right? So if we look at the diff in here, see, this is the stuff that I'm looking for. So we remove the manager with the turns. So this is in the simple chat agent, right? It passes the turn to the run tool calling loop, which was one of the things that were previously using the conversation. It uses the seed turn, which is the name we used in the simple inference agent before as well. So it keeps consistent naming by calling it a seed turn, which I like. Um, it then, oh, it did some indenting on its own. Uh, oh, excuse me. Where are we? We're in the chat runner. So it removes the conversion. Print the last assistant message from updated output to the output writer. That's at the end. I think that was something I wanted to change. Um, cool. So it has with C turn on the chat builder. That's nice. Reinforces the name further. We removed build initial turn. We, for some reason, switched the order of print prompt. So when it does something like that, I'm actually, yeah, my sensibilities are probably wrong. And this makes probably sense because it means we don't even get to render the messages that we then don't need to actually print them out. Because they've already been rendered, like what is the... I guess I have already been rendered. That's cool. Turns, result turn. All right, cool. And so this builds. So the simple chat agent doesn't build, and the commands command.go doesn't build, right? Result conversation undefined. Okay. Now fix command.go. Then update 03 how to refactor to keep our document up to date. We probably need to go to Geppetto. So here, nothing changed. And then, where is this how to refactor code that... Where is this in? Oh, it's because it hasn't changed, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, I think I know why it's doing that now. It's like forgetting the command output that it ran. So did it really run those commands? It's always like very shy about testing its own work. I always have to like trick it into actually looking at what it's produced. All right, once Pinocchio compiles and runs, I'll stop. Step by step, inching forward. So it has all these white spaces again. It's so funny. So it removed... Yeah, it's so hard to say what is going on. Git diff w. I should have maybe committed before, but it wasn't compiling. So command.go is the one that changed, right? I thought I said no white space changes. The fuck? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's more readable. All right, so that's cool. The run now returns turns. There's a result turn and not a result conversation. This is much more readable than the 178 lines that are mentioned. This is more like a... I think their edit tool and the apply tool in Cursor has changed, broken. Because this is basically like -20 plus 10. Yeah, much better. So the question is, does this build? So there's still the simple chat agent that is problematic, right? But it looks like Pinocchio might actually compile. So it does compile. That's good. I'm going to kill this manual title. Let me. Remove. All right. Go run command Pinocchio code Unix hello chat. What's up, my boy? Write a shell script for my birthday. All right, cool. It's missing all the metadata that we used to add to it, huh? I thought did it die again? I don't know. It's like mixing refactor with adding features. Not always the best thing. We'll change it later. Okay, so, and we're going to commit. Because not everything compile, we're going to skip the git hooks. Did something change in Geppetto? Just refactor stuff. What did it change in the refactoring, by the way? Pinocchio is still conversation first in place. Is we remove? Okay. It's funny that it like decided to use this like question format. I've never seen that before. Definitely not from my prompts. And then we're gonna call this tractor and fire. Um, remove dependency on conversation from command.go and Pinocchio. And now from simple chat agent main.go. I just want to get this through. It's not something I'm going to be repeating either, because otherwise, if it was, like functionality that I want to add to later on that I want to build upon, I would have started a new conversation and just like tested that my how-to document is enough context to start from scratch. Here, I'm never going to reuse it, so I'm just piling onto the conversation. And I've seen that the token caching is pretty good, and hopefully this will turn into some reasonably efficient token cost. I wonder what's because it created a text file. This is pretty cool because you can quickly go see the output and see if it worked. Query stats, search output. Yeah, this looks like maybe a better starting point. Because I have this help system in Glazed, and so I need to write this out on paper. I need to design this out on paper. There's like some good ideas in here, and how to turn this all together is going to be quite interesting. Do we have one of the markdowns here? Yeah, I get this 500 quite a bit on like, I think this has to do with the fact that it was older in a subdirectory, some nonsense like that. So we're going to download this, and we created a project for it, right? Add meta file management. Gonna go into vibes. Nope. And this is a zip this time. And it's the markdown manager zip. That's cool. We can unzip that. Go work use dot. Wait, no, go work file found. Interesting. So what do these preambles look like? Title, tags, category, created, modified, project, repository, branch, main, status, final, priority, high, version, author, contributors, language, format, template, related files, dependencies, references. That's not the most interesting ones, right? I really have to design this out on paper. Oh, because here I didn't add the spec. Oh, my bad. My bad. I still don't have what I'm looking for. Um, and what I'm gonna do is also attach the files that I want to give it, because I had a design session here. Uh, Elasticity of labor and profit. No, no, no. Droplet vault setup. Yeah, YAML metadata schema. Yeah, this is much better. So that's why it's like so mid. So I'm gonna add this, and then we're gonna go into glazed and then build first command. All right, so, and then we're just gonna attach it. Choose local files and set this to agent, quality, and look at the attached build first command.md. All right, third try. This is really slot machine. It's fun at times, but remove the conversation manager from Pinocchio simple agent, switch to turn first. 9 lines of code removed by just removing the manager. That's enough. Apparently that's enough. That's crazy. Yeah. Compute 2 plus 2 with calc. Yeah. Wow. Man, it's like +1 -9. It's like, I mean, it's not the fact that the fix is so small that is amazing. It's that it's so surgical. Like, it is really, that's the part I was waiting on, is like, how can I, because right now I'm doing all this like cleanup, right? Like, I can use smaller models to build features, um, but to do this like tightening, cleaning up, uh, this is really nice because it allows me to, I feel the same as if I was cleaning up by myself, except I'm not tired and I'm not confused, because the cleaning up by myself of like, searching for usage sites for this and that, and then doing something that's fairly rote at the end of the day is like really, you get pulled into a lot of looking at a lot of code that you actually don't really want to see to make the good decisions. And here I can see the forest a little bit better, and still have like a pretty detailed guide on how to do this, right? Like update 03, how to refactor code that uses the API. But art, fire, remove conversation from simple chat agent. Okay, and so now we're going to get to the UI, and that's going to be like the interesting part, right? So simple chat main, and then simple chat.go. Do we want to do those? Yeah, and then we'll actually have to start a new conversation. These are going to be the last ones, and also tackle this, right? So, because we're at 60%, I don't want to pile on too much, and I do want to get the quality of this document. I do want to get a sense for it still, more for my own sanity. Because here, like, the big picture is pretty clear, right? We have a conversation struct that was a list of messages that is like merged together with some weird like functional tree data structure. And I want to move it to something that's a very simple list of turns, and each turn has a list of blocks, and there's conversion message in like a. So at the end of the day, it's like intellectually very non-challenging, right? But doing it by hand is kind of like a big puzzle piece, except there's no value in doing that puzzle. Um, and you know, maybe there's value for people who haven't done it, but I've done this stuff for like so long, I don't care. It used to be kind of fun, but now I just want to get this over with and build like the actual stuff that I want to build, which is and a lot of this like messy API that was fully handwritten uh, was really standing in the way for way too long. And I was always shying away from refactoring it because I knew it would be like gnarly like this. And I wouldn't have tried this with Sonnet, right? Because I knew Sonnet's not going to do, it's going to actually make it worse. Um, so it would really be me doing like some 2023 style of programming of like having a little bit of assistance by the LLM to maybe like look for patterns or so, and then mostly doing renames by hand and Golang and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like playing a level in a video game that you've played over and over. And I'm like, I don't. It's, that's why I'm really glad that GPT allows me to do something that's like a better quality than what I would have done by hand, because it has pretty good intuitions, and then do these like, you know, minimalistic like patches, which would have taken me. I probably wouldn't be able to do such a good job in terms of terseness, tersity. Like I don't know how to say it. Let's go look at one of those though. It creates a conversation manager builder, but here it actually already has that. It might want to use the turn builder, right? I don't think the builder pattern would help all that much here. And then, so now if we build, so it was build and then it was make test, right? It was like failing on make test. Dude, this is amazing. It's like just like, here's like your 30 lines of code, and this is all you needed. So left hook, oh my god, left hook, conversation, remove dependency from command.go on Pinocchio. And now we have, so I don't think this warrants an update of the document. But what we're going to do now, so the document is in Geppetto. Oops. Oh, what is GIST? Did I write that? Oh, it's a Ruby thing? Okay, so it's not mine. I think I wrote something like that one day. Oh, no, I did write something like that, and the Ruby overwrites it. I don't know. Yeah, so nothing has changed here. So now we have to tackle boba tea, right? And so if we go back to our Kimi produced document, which honestly is really useful. It wasn't like nothing crazy to ask, but still. All right, so we're going to start a new one. Now let's tackle the last uses of conversation in boba tea. Use the guide 03 how to refactor to remove all references to conversation and replace them with turns. C08 turns. I don't think, because it's referenced in the tutorial, I probably don't need to reference it here again, but we might as well. I'm a little bit worried about this here. Safe to remove, only used for demo testing purposes, because we've seen that GPT-5 over indexes on things. And for example, I wonder if in the renderer, in the LLM text model, that was the renderer that also had the tokens, the token count, if that got deleted. And when it got deleted. No, it has the temperature and the LLM message data, so it's maybe not able to find them anymore because I moved the LLM message data somewhere. Yeah, I think that's the issue. It's trying to do this like extraction out of a unstructured kind of thing. So this is something we'll put, this is something I'm not interested in figuring out either. I think this is a bad API here. Grepping for digging for strings in a map. And that was because I had maps everywhere in my original, like I had them in the conversation message metadata, and then I added events, but I wrapped it in another, like this is the kind of like human mess that I'm really, that are really annoying to clean up because they confuse the LLM, they confuse me as well. Oh, this is Goland, load file system changes. Okay. Okay, now there is a big metadata mess in. Actually, let's just compile and commit, and then we'll lint everything, and then we'll start afresh and do. I think something that might be much more tricky is like cleaning up the metadatas that are everywhere, and that's probably a sign that I don't even know what to do with it. But you know, like this just no. And this was like, I don't even know which metadata I want and where, which is probably why it got so messy. And maybe I shouldn't call it metadata at all. I should just call it like LLM usage inference metadata. I don't know. Metadata is something I should stop saying. Yeah, I should call it like LLM usage data. LLM inference data. LLM inference data is a good word. And that will help the refactoring document as well. So let's, holy shit, this is a lot. See, this is LLM usage data. LLM inference data is what I'm going to call it. So, okay, so that compiled, and that compiled, and then I guess if I go into Pinocchio, I can command Pinocchio, and then I can say hello, and all of that works. What's up? Do you have any tools? So I see there's like the, oh, well, I already have a plan for that. Cool. So this is actually a pretty big one, right? Fire, remove references to conversation in Boba Tea, timeline, and chat. Okay. And we're going to go format. And we're going to go format here. And this is something I can probably do in open code. So VLS, we're going to go to use inference API for Pinocchio. We're going to go format this. And then we're going to do make lint. Okay. Okay, cool. Open code, models, coin coder, Kimi. I don't know. I can't really tell the difference. Run, make, lint, and fix the lint errors. Let's see what happens. This is nice. Man, it feels almost better than Sonnet 3.5. That's something I had earlier as well, where I always had to tell it continue, continue, continue. Continue until you are done. Don't stop. I wonder if it's an open code issue, if it's the model just like stopping, if the tool calling is like not great. Um, yep, yep. Yeah, it's because there's this pattern that it's trying to do is happening many times. And it stopped, right? Continue until everything is done. Yeah, I wonder why it stops all the time. I wonder if it's just like a prompting thing. But here it's continuing now, right? So maybe it is a prompting thing, and it's like something that I should start investigating how to add the plugin stuff and all of that, so that I can start adding my own middlewares. And actually, that might be like a good thing to put Kimi on as well. But so now it introduced like this. What is this weird ass thing here? Interesting. The kind of I haven't really played with like small models, like open source models. I mean, and small models since like, let's say pre Sonnet stuff. This is an odd one. How could it have thought about that? I guess we don't see the tool call itself, huh? The tokens are. And here it stops again, yeah, and never ever stop. I wonder if that's something that Quen doesn't do. Because I could imagine, like, for example, adding a middleware that says, like, once it's still running, right, and it finishes after a tool call, just like insert, like, and if you aren't done with your initial plan, then continue. And just have this like automatic reinforcement, leverage the fact that we have a tool call going as an API call, and then latch onto that. And I also wonder how often I get pissed off at other people's tools and be able to build something that has actually the quality of what I'm seeing here. Is like, is that going to be possible once I clean up my API? So it's like it's finished here, right? It's like it stopped in the middle of generating. This is a little bit too jank for me, and I don't know what's going on, if it's my prompting or not. So I'm going to switch to Coder, and I'm going to say continue. And yeah, it did this like weird curly brace stuff, right? It's so weird that it inserted that. That's cool. It did a sed right away. The question is like, was the sed because I asked it to use sed before, or is that something that Qwen 3 has been like taught to do? I think it's because of my prompt, but it's cool. I wish sed was not such a brittle format. And that's where my JavaScript idea comes in again. Detect YAML mode switch. Um, I mean, this is all pretty fast, isn't it? And see, I don't know what it's doing now. It says build Qwen 3 coder, and then it's done. Like, I don't think something's happening right now, huh? I don't know if I should prompt it with like ridiculous stuff like this, but it forgot about stuff that it already fixed. I don't, what does this change? I wonder if the sed was like too much. Interesting. So I guess this like building edits, that's like a streaming tool call, huh? The socket connection was closed unexpectedly. Okay, continue some more. It says that it's at 11%, 20% context, and it jumped to 48 all of a sudden. But does that mean that it has like 200,000 tokens? Now it's back at 25,000. Interesting. What does OpenCode do to have it jump around like this? And then Open Router seems to disconnect. See, this is like the difference here is like I don't think GPT-5 would be much more expensive, and it would probably be faster. But of course, here the attraction is that this runs locally, right? Could run locally. I have my Mac on the left. Because I constantly have to like wonder what's going on with things. Um, and now we definitely have like this SQLite tool middleware change was definitely a little bit tragic, huh? Uh, yeah, please. Yeah, this SQLite middle tool thing, that wasn't a good change. Because now it's reading it over and over again. I think that was the set. See, the thing that makes me wonder if there's still inference going, right, is that you'll have this build and then it will still like complete while it's doing it. Yeah, so the SQLite tool, that was definitely a tragic mistake. So we were trying to refactor here. We were trying to just fix the lint, right? And then, so one thing I can't do one thing that I can't do in OpenCode is go back, right, and revert. So what happened here that like broke everything? Not even that oh, look at that. It's this thing disappeared here. It's this one little line, huh? All right, anyway, what we're going to do is I'm gonna stash it just for well, what is the gonna stash all of this. And I'm gonna start a new one, new new session, and I'm going to say I don't see which model. Oh no, model is Qwen3 coder. I'm gonna say run make lint and fix the lint issues. Don't stop until you are done. So this clear context window, it doesn't have like Kimi crap before with like a different tool called format or whatever. And you always accept make lint. Now it sees the 20 lint errors. What we saw with Kimi made like a first like planning kind of thing where it like grouped the linting errors. Here we don't see anything happening for now. Wow, what speed. It runs at like 80 tokens per second on mine, so maybe it's just like time to fully go local, huh? Let me All right, it's like 30 gigabytes. Oh, and which? Oh yeah, we cleared enough space over here. Because I find this a little bit slow. All of this. Sure. Now it's fucking blazing, isn't it? All right, so Qwen3 it is over Kimi, huh? Oh, and I'm downloading the 8-bit version for MLX. We'll see what it does. So you do auth list providers. And how do you add your own model? See, it's not running an inference anymore, right? Like it finished because it ended up its context window and you have to manually trigger it. It doesn't like show you the stop reason. I wonder if I should commit after each like yeah, see it shouldn't do a default. Don't don't uh So it's queued, which I like. So open code, use local model. Providers, I guess. All right, I'll go through that another day because I don't want to go full on, but this is what I wanted. Let's put it into my reader. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I want, my boy. Exhaustive. And see, now it finished again. Like, I'm never sure. But I guess it's kind of an open code thing. Because now it's not stopping. So now SQLite tool, our nemesis from the previous one, which it tried to remove, I guess, with sed because I had that. I shouldn't have put that into prompt. I knew it was a bad idea. Sed's format is so brittle, especially for multi-line stuff. So what is coming at me? I have to configure this. LM Studio provider. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow because the model is also still downloading. Oh, and I have this one running, huh? Okay, it's linting. It really is running for a long time now. It has 3 lints left over. No, it has 9. Oh, that's why Kimi output this. It's because it's in the lint format. I was like curious. I was like, I've never seen a model do this before. It's because it was in the lint output. So yeah, so this guy is slaying at the moment, and we're at 40 cents. I mean, it's not a, but yeah, but it's not worth doing it by hand. Like 40 cents, I'll pay 40 cents instead of wasting 5 minutes of my life, 10 minutes of my life, 15. Because the thing is, I can stay into like of course I'm talking right now, but usually I would be drawing in my sketchbook and like thinking about the bigger picture stuff, right? Like right now, um, what was the thing that I wanted to sketch out that was like going to be too complex? Was it the metadata? I think it was the metadata stuff. No, was it the metadata stuff? I'll have to fish it back out of the stream transcript. I think it might have been the metadata format, huh? Oh no, it was the. I know it was this. This, yeah. I would be designing out exactly this. I would be. Oh, I want to figure out like a good CLI tool to look to Holy shit, did it use my framework? Oh yeah, because I uploaded the file, right? Like this time it worked. So it just forgot when I tell it to get the documentation out of a tool call, it forgets about it. It writes the beginning and then it like kind of doesn't remember. If I put it as a file on disk, then it's able to steer through it. Yeah, and it has, all right, cool. So this is definitely, that was what was blocking me the last few days. It was like not remembering to store the output of a command. So this is good to know. Yeah, okay, so this is much, much, much more useful. Um, okay, so now add verbs to create, modify, annotate these metadata that I can use during normal development. For example, tag documents with the current modified files in Git or other developer-oriented actions. Okay, because that's the more important part, and that's like kind of what I would sketch out on paper, would be like, okay, what are the workflows to create documentation and such, and that's not thinking I can do at the computer. It's not thinking I can do linearly. I just have to draw. So we're at open code here. I waited a little bit too long to acknowledge this tool call, right? Oh, but it's continuing. So we're at 50 cents, and those were the last 3 linting errors. And it kind of went through almost autonomously. What is it? I wonder what it's trying to fix here. I guess I shouldn't make it so small for the screen. No lint static check deprecation function used for, oh, so build conversation from turn. Oh, so there's still build conversation from turn in here. Okay, so that's cool. We're at 20% context window, and we're going to commit because our linting works. This is narrower. There we go. And we are in use inference for this, and then we're going to say art fix lint ing. And I guess I was going to do the refactor with Quen 3, but I'm too tired. So, or maybe, okay, remove all references to build conversation from turn, and then once everything compiles again, remove the function itself. Curious to see how well that goes. We're in a freshly committed Git. It's doing a grep, of course, checking the function definition. Interesting. Now let me check the example files that use this function. This is a pretty clever model. And yeah, it's still downloading on the LM Studio side, so that'll be for next time. Although I'm pretty excited because the 4-bit version was like 80 tokens a second on my M1, which is really, I mean, I can do some real work with this, even compared to having Sonnet and Co. Right? It's like or GPT-5 even. Especially if I can use GPT-5 as a planner from time to time and then just do most of this work offline. All right. I'm not sure what it is about this continue thing, because it literally always has like this double quote, which makes you think that it will continue and then it stops the inference. Not fully sure about that. Okay. See, that would be like another reason to have it locally is that you're not depending on a provider. Man, what the fuck is that? See, this is yeah. I'm really looking forward to running this either locally or running like that on my on a GPU in the cloud and just having like full control. And it stopped again, right? This is brittle. Is it going to disconnect after this edit? I wonder if it's like related. Yeah, yeah. This is going downhill. I wonder if some of the downhill is just like the tool format stuff. Um, but let's look a little bit at what it did, just out of curiosity, right? I'm gonna kit this. This is enough for today. See, so should we already had like a function, a helper to do this? For example, I'm curious to see if GPT-5 is going to find it. Then I wonder why it said that we have duplicated code. What was it referring to? In any case, goodbye. We're gonna start a new conversation here just to show um, what the prompt was on this other side. It was like remove uh, build conversation from Geppetto examples. Once everything compiles, remove the actual function. I will see like the difference in like quote unquote intelligence or whatever word you prefer. Effectiveness of the model. No, that's not a good word. Intelligence, reasoning skills, that's as good as any. All right. Because we paid 80 cents. I mean, part of it, 50 cents was for the linting cleanup. And then after 30 cents, we were basically with some kind of fucked up code that we would have to undo by hand. I wonder, once I have control of my inference, um, and I don't know if I'll get happy with open code if it's like at that level of brittleness where I'll always want to go look at the internals. Because at that point, I might just as well um, use mine and just be like, I own the internals. I can do whatever I want because this is an opinionated project. I don't think I'll become a contributor. I also don't want to deal with the social aspect of it. And all the hype or not hype or whatever stuff there is. I just want to quietly build my software. Okay, so it is grepping around. It's reading a bunch of, it's reading the original code. It's reading the 3 examples. That's what I see here. It's thinking a lot. Um, and once we build green, I need to remove the function, modifying example files, the function. Man, I want to read this without it scrolling out. So I need to check how it's used and then follow up with grep. Yeah, modifying example files. If that succeeds, remove the function. I'll start by modifying 3 example files. For each block, I'll map the printing. I wonder if it's going to find the print helper. I need to update the log info to count using len updated term blocks. Okay, so it's thinking about like little menial details. These thinking traces are weird. They mix like really self-reflection with then some really high level planning and then like some tiny little details all at the same level of these like paragraphs that it outputs. So it's going into the wrong directory, which is because it's in the agent MD and not the cursor MD or whatever the name is for the cursor file. Need to change that. Actually, that's a research I could do as well. What are search for all the variation on Claude, MD agent, MD agents, MD cursor rules that are out there for coding IDEs? Search wide, think deep. All right. So now it's going to remove the source. So it knows that it needs to check for Bobity and Pinocchio as well. Interesting. So direct term block rendering, and then I'm sure it didn't find the print helper, because this is the files that it changed, right? And it does the printing. Yeah, it does the printing by itself. So I've got to make like a help printer that has different options to format like a conversation. I think that's like a good idea, to make like a little printer package with a bunch of different options. All right, removed usages, keep all, and then what is in conversation? Is there still other stuff in there that is unused? So we saw these two are unused. This is unused, and blocks from conversation delta. Where is that used? That's used in backend.go in the UI. Set seed from conversation, which is not used, right? So now we can just delete all of this, huh? And still be able to compile, make build. And then we can go to Pinocchio, make build. Oh, and then we can, of course, all right, well, that's slick. Any lints to fix? Yeah. Make lint in Geppetto, Pinocchio, and fix. All right, well, this is really taking shape. I like that. Do we still use the conversation package in here? So those are all these like ttemp files you can see. That's the stuff that I wanna manage. I think we might have gotten rid of all the conversation things. So glob, oh come on, glob star.go. Look at that. Get conversation render, get conversation, get conversation. I think we can delete those anyway. I haven't used that in like forever. All right, so that's something we can do in here very easily. get conversation is in here, right? And then you have conversation next data. So we're just going to remove all of this and make build. Does this break anything? Yeah. To add it, no module requires. Remove this and then remove that part. Cool. 20 issues. Good job. Oh, format SSCanF. Yeah, we should check the error on that. What does SSCanF even do here? In debug commands? What the fuck? Oh, it's the command line. It's the REPL parser. All right, so what are these? Windsurf roles, GitHub Copilot. Okay, create an algorithm to for a program to discover these files, merge if necessary, then create a canonical version and symlink distribute it so that you can quickly set things up for a specific IDE. And it's not as much as I wanted to create the algorithm for me. It's more, well, I'm a little bit curious what it will do of this thing here, of the MDC rules. I'm curious to see what it will do about recursive directories. And then what it will do with the merging. So it's more like I'm curious because I know how I would do it, and which is very simplistic of just like concatenating things. But I'm curious to see what a thinking model comes up with, because usually they do have, depending on how you prompt them, to push them away from the slop. But like GPT-5 is really good at being non-sloppy, at like having some real depth to the proposals it makes. So canonical title sections, metadata, source hashes, timestamps. That's not the worst idea either. Exact ordered list for merge provenance. Interesting. Source reference section. Oh, that's interesting because they're all markdown, right? And then it knows about MDCs. Yeah, because then you probably want to have an LLM clean it up as well, right? Okay, and this deterministic merge, interesting. I wonder what they will do, because I would have added a tag to each section name and then a hash out of that and like sorted on that maybe. No, not a hash, a canonical key. Oh, they override section names? That's not necessarily a good idea. I think having an LLM in here would be a pretty fun thing. Um, I wonder if I give this to Sonnet, what it will do. Actually, yeah, let me try something. Create a minimal web app that you can give to markdown files, either upload or with two text areas, and then merge them. Merge, find sections of the same name, and merge. otherwise append. Then use an LLM to say that the two files were merged and that each section should be tightened up in case of duplication. I'm going to leave it at that and just see. Then use Claude API to analyze how the two files were merged so that and good document results. It's horrible prompting. I'm sorry, it's late. Okay, interesting. Well, actually not interesting. I'm just glad it's done. All right, so fire. Remove traces of conversation. So now we can do, there's no mention of conversation in a Go file anymore. That's amazing. What about boba tea? Conversation, no mention of conversation either. Bonkers. Bonkers, because still this works. And then if I say copy selected source, that didn't work. So oh no, it did work. It's just it does it for Alt C, but not Alt D, because Alt D is copy selected source code. Okay, that was my bad. So if I do write a tiny shell script, and then I go here and I do Alt D, now I will have only the shell script. Nope. Alt C. Okay, so the copy paste source code, because I really like refactored everything in here. That's gone, but I will quickly notice the things I'm missing. All right, cool. So nothing to be done here. Now we're going to do this analysis of the metadata part, right? Which the metadata is kind of like messy here. So there's a big metadata mess in, where is all the metadata stuff defined, right? I don't even remember where the metadata issues were. Oh, and then there's this like turn builder stuff here to be done, right? Consolidate, OpenAI tools, main.go, and all other places where a turns get printed out into a single flexible, powerful, pretty printer. Different and turns. Okay, so that's the first design thing where I don't specify any design except single, flexible, powerful, pretty printer, because I'm starting to trust GPT-5 to do something fairly elegant. And then here, there's a big metadata mess in, it was called like metadata any, right? Yeah, so an LLM text model for all the LLM metadata, starting, for example, in LLM text model, I want to consolidate all this temperature, engine, provider, like usage, token count, stop reason, token, yeah, duration, into a clean LLM inference data struct, um, to be displayed, stored, aggregated. I don't know why I'm typing so much. If I were using Sonnet, I'd be really worried now. With GPT-5, I'm curious to see what it will make, because I'm worried about the words aggregated, stored, displayed, because those are like potential jumping off points to build things that I actually don't care about, which I'd only care about the LLM inference data refactor. I also don't know if it was a good idea to let both run at the same time. All right, so I did the pretty printer in one go. See, this is exactly what I wanted. Roles, tool detail spaces, max text lines, and then also do output format, include, no, the LM data, right? We'll do that later on. To one line JSON. Oh, cool. Oh, I never thought of doing that. One line JSONs. That's cool. Yeah, I always wonder, like, okay, how much more expensive is this than like a smaller model that you need to handhold? Good question. Of course, it makes you dependent on OpenAI, right? But also it's code. Like any squeeze I get out of an LLM is not something I'm dependent on in as much as it just helps me get my code base in shape faster. And if it's gone, at least I'll have a cleaner code base. And these things, I've built so many of these. I'm just too old to write them once again, even though it's kind of fun. Even though it's kind of fun, now I just want to have my stuff pretty printed and nothing else. Okay, so let's go make two files, right? Test1.md, a story from beyond the grave, and then article of the Constitution, thou shalt not eat breakfast in the cemetery, and then C++ template guidelines. No templates. Okay, so that's kind of enough. And let's create a second one. The spaceship from outer space. Article of the Constitution, thou shalt not go beyond the speed of light. And then I'm going to do go generics guidelines. No generics. All right, I have no idea what this is going to do, but you know, why not? So file upload, file loaded, temp. How do I go to the temp directory? And then here, test 1 and 2. Test 2. Wait, this is... Okay. Analyze and improve. Why do I have to put in my Claude API key? I didn't need to before. Okay. You folks look away. It's weird. I could swear I had it working before without having to put a key in. It's just funny. Okay, does this work? Oh my god, it won't let me copy paste in here? Come on. Do I really need to put the key if I'm the artifact owner? It's crazy. I can't copy paste in this field. That's like the weirdest thing ever. Uh, can I drag and drop it? Oh, I can't copy paste it. It's just I don't know how to copy paste. All right. All right, here's the improved and reorganized version of your Markdown document. Rules, constitutional articles, Article 1, cemetery conduct, Article 2, physical laws, programming guidelines, creative works, improvements made. Holy crap, it likes yapping. All right, anyway, this is like, this is fun. It's like probably a useful way to prototype some things. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I want that. So this, and then choose local filed. Build it, run it, and take screenshots to make sure it works. I will write a README anyway. Make a zip file with everything. Cool. Then I'll have that tomorrow, and I won't have to fight with like 15,000 IDEs. Okay, so that is a good start for a pretty printer. I have ideas on how to make it better. And here we do have the metadata cleanup. I introduced a unified LLM inference data struct and wire it throughout the chat timeline path. So it starts with the LLM inference data, and then it still has the LLM meta. Okay, so remove LLM meta and other deprecated metadata interfaces. But yeah, so this is engine model, temperature, top P, max token, stop, recent usage, and the duration, which is great. I wonder if it added computing the duration. It did. Holy crap. But that's not necessarily the location I want to have it. Started at, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this is the good location to put it. Maybe not. To LLM inference data. No. So remove LLM. So, okay. So this is where, right, there's so many metadata things. The event metadata is used. Holy crap. Why did I make everything? I really didn't. I guess I didn't know what I was getting into when I started this. event tool result. It then has an event metadata, and the event metadata has the LLM message metadata. Okay. Oh, see, this is like, um, this is in Bobity, right? So move the LLM inference data type to Geppetto, replace all the LLM message metadata in chat events, um, etc., to really consolidate to a single metadata struct. No backwards compatibility, remove LLM meta, etc. Yeah, there were metadatas everywhere. My fault. Maybe I learned my lesson this way as well, to not use metadata as a keyword in my head, like not for LLMs, but as a keyword to myself. So this guy finished, and then this is the, oh yeah, this is the pretty printer. I should have made a plan for this one first. I should have started a search for everything that's metadata, then did a plan. The fact that I'm not thinking strategically anymore is because it's late, I think. Oh, it's midnight already. Well, addictive it is, that's for sure. Man, and finally, like, my metadata stuff is going to be fixed. That's crazy. That's really crazy. What is labels for? Oh, it's not used. Eh. All right. What is this dude doing? Okay, so it is oh, maybe I should tell it one file per command, by the way. Maybe I should put that. That should be a memory from my previous session, though. No memory? Because I used the when x then y thing, but guess I'll have to add it manually. Knowledge, right? Single file per CLI verb. When building CLI, what does it want me to say? When building CLI commands and verbs, use one file per verb to keep file sizes low. One file per verb instead of a big file with all the commands. I'm mixing verbs and commands on purpose, so that it covers both words. It's still going, huh? It's like just doing a lot of intermediate tokens. Well, I guess there's really like a lot to look at. I love that it called it like glazed quick start. The fact that it's a glazed command makes that it means that I can just like merge it into Pinocchio pretty much as is. Like the style's going to be very consistent. And since it's just like formatting data, like nothing wild. Although this one has like a more interesting algorithm, huh? Oh wait, I didn't tell it what to build. That's why it's called glazed quick start. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I am such an idiot. I was like, what is it building? And it had like the first command, right? So, um, okay, no, I did give it what to build. Uh, yeah, I didn't look at the. That's funny. It didn't look at the first file. That is definitely a bug. It didn't. It ignored one instruction file entirely. All right, let's try again. So, uh, in the pasted content, there is a description in detail of a command to set up coding IDE. Oh my God. Coding IDE instructions in different files. Implement it as glazed commands. See the other attached file build first. Command.md. Yeah, it like straight up ignored the first one. That's crazy. Should have looked a little bit more closely. Let's do that. Let's look a little bit more closely. How fucking fast is this thing? That's like crazy. Oh, it was just reading the file, huh? Okay, so this time it has it, right? Very nice. Discover, merge, distribute. That's some great verbs. I wouldn't have thought of discover and merge. Sorry, discover, distribute. I would have done a single verb. Oh. All right, cool. I'm looking forward to that. That will like save a lot of pain in my life and my colleagues as well. Oh, that means that with GPT-5, I can probably clean up my workspace manager as well. This was maybe like a big ass refactor without a plan. I should have thought of doing a plan. Pretty excited um, about this guy here. Pretty excited. Maybe I should commit it, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, this is sick. This is sick. I like it. Um, it has individual files or not. No, it has done like one big ass file. What is that? Uh, package metadata schema commands. Yeah, it has like one single command file. List markdown files, output JSON, search markdown files. Then it does matches search criteria. That's probably in the metadata, right? No, it's in here as well. All right, yeah. I mean, that's exactly why I think I like LLM so much. I would overthink this way too early instead of just being like, "Hey, fuck it, let's do like 5 if cases and let's get it going." That's really something I think I lost over my career. Like that's the code I was able to build when I was 20, and now I just like would have started with like a matcher interface, and there's a lesson for me here to be learned about crappy looking code, but that gets shit done. It's like with the workspace manager, for example. It's like one of my most used tools now, and it's like it's really that style here. So, however, my like super over engineered things, they never turn into like a useful tool because I'm always like futzing with the refactoring. Or maybe I just don't notice how often I call it. I guess I call it pretty often. I guess I call it all the time, actually. Um, this is this is the kind of edits that are pretty impressive at the end of the day to be like, okay, well, maybe I'll rename LLM message to LLM inference, and then I need to add the model and the duration. That's some pretty deep thinking about what's going on here. I am quite impressed. Like those 4 lines of code cross many, many files and involve like a pretty tasteful rename instead of like say recreating the whole thing. This is very impressive. I was wondering what it was going to do with that one, so it decided to just inline it. Maybe it should like not inline it. And then there's extra. Man, these like extra untyped things, I really don't know what to do with them. um oh, did it add engine and model instead of merging them? Okay, that's not so clever. But that's what I said, because I said model explicitly over here. I think at some point, I think I said model over here. Yeah, and oh no, I didn't use the word model. That's kind of funny. I used the word engine. I know it wasn't the original LLM metadata in the fake backend, so maybe that led to it. We'll see. This is a pretty impressive diff. Uh, that is a really elegant diff. I don't think I've seen something so tight from a model before. Where was it here? Pretty nice. I don't think that's relevant to what we're doing right now. I think the only other thing we were doing is like committing this. And I'm going to remove MDM, git add dot, and then md meta v2. Where? Oh, it was sdefined that made it red. Okay, so that's cool. Git add dot, and then we're going to say add vibed markdown meta data management. And then we're going to create a pull request. Add markdown metadata management prototypes. And then, yeah, so here it did the same thing. All right. The vibes repo, like there's no need to worry about the code quality or linting. I mean, there's not even lint check. All right, so it is merged. We're gonna rebase. We're gonna fetch origin, and then we're gonna rebase on origin main, and then we're just gonna delete the delete the workspace. Oh no, so all right, so that's good. Are there any others that I can kill? Oh my god, there's the diary CLI. Yeah. Uh, 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 uh. Interesting. So this is conversation message. It's interesting that it removed the LLM message metadata and instead, okay, like it dropped it entirely out of the message. That's probably because it is never set anymore in the message. I've removed everything that could have possibly set that field in the message, and it's not used anywhere either because I completely killed everything that uses it. Like I think at this point, conversation message can be deleted. Um, there's a chance that LLM text model might be the last to go here, but also I might just like, no, why is it doing this? Why is it always re-enabling the exa tool every freaking time? I don't know what that is. I keep turning them off, and then the next time I start cursor, they're back. So this was the pretty printer. This is the refactor here, right? All right. So yeah, hopefully this is finished soon because I do want to have a little bit of an evening. Before I go to bed. Wait, why is it doing? Oh man, I was worried that it would like have done something else. So interesting. This guy merging files. Does it actually work? I'm gonna say actually run it and take screenshots. Although it did do like an examples.sh, right? Building the application, cleaning up existing files, and it's running it. Oh yeah, and look at that. I guess it works. I guess it skipped that part to replay. Okay, cool. Still gonna see what it does. I removed 27 lines here of the meta. Cool. A wise decision. Oh. And so now it's doing the LLM text model. So now I'm curious to see what it will put in there in the metadata and how we'll wire it through. Because the source is inference engine goes into a watermill event that can then go either over a Go channel, can go over Redis or Kafka, gets received by the UI receiver that then is going to transform it into props for the LLM text model view, and it still doesn't. It still kept the metadata any, but at least there's like less types possible. It's either the LLM inference data or it's a map string, right? And then I guess we'll have to see. The problem here is that, is there a problem? I mean, this code can be removed here. So that's definitely something. That code can be removed. Does this compile? Like, I'm curious. Go run. I mean, of course it compiles, but wider. So it doesn't show the metadata, right? So that's something I'll just tackle tomorrow because it didn't change any code in there. Oh, it's all in Boba T. It's all in Boba T and Pinocchio, huh? Geppetto. Fire, tractor, remove conversations, and replace with turns. It even lints? What the fuck? This is not gonna lint. Is it? No. Whatever. What is it here? It's like fire, tractor, tighten up metadata for LLM text model, but doesn't work yet. So we're going to call this fire poop. And I think we're going to push it just for the fun of it and so that we don't lose left hook, git push, left hook, git push. Anything else in this workspace? What is our Manus doing with its screenshots? Yeah, that's nice. That's cool. I'm happy. I'll add that to Pinocchio tomorrow, and then that's one problem solved. All right, we pushed all of this, and then there's only Go mods and like some readmes left. All right, so that's cool. Good evening.